Cool. So our next group is actually not an improv group. This is pretty special to us. We have a really cool thing happening. They're not improvisers. It's actually a marketing duo. Some of the best ad gurus around, and they're here to do their thing for you. So please, 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 warm welcome for Collyard Nelson.
I can't do that, Paula. No.
It's no big deal.
I can't because I'm gonna be in Sicily. You know that. I told you that. It's in my date book. I can't do it. I'm gonna be gone for 3 weeks.
I haven't coached a basketball team in years.
No, look. You know I have that cruise. You know I have the cruise. I just got the license to drive the boat. I'm not gonna be in the office. Tell them the office is open, but I'm not gonna be there.
You don't got K-Love anymore.
Look,
so
I have to go. I have some. I don't know. We're doing some seminar things. So I'll talk to you in a second. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Love you.
Okay, say hi to your wife for me.
Bye.
No, I know it's sensitive. Okay.
Jesus.
Hey, everybody!
Hi.
How
Hello.
are you doing?
Hi.
Hey.
Comedy is fun.
That was so
right?
fun.
We were trickling out around in the back. They're one of those guys looked like me.
Yeah, one of those guys kind of
Looked a little bit like me.
Did you get his name?
I didn't care.
Who cares, right? He was funny though.
Was
I mean,
he?
the other ones were funnier, but he was definitely funny.
Sure, he was funny like hey, I'm here too kind of way.
Right. It was kind of like he was like the RC Cola.
Yeah. He was like the RC Cola was a good
I
metaphor.
mean, like, can you do better?
No.
I feel absolutely embarrassed I have to do this.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, if there were some wine glasses behind the bar, we wouldn't have to do it. But there's... No.
But luckily we always carry some with
Yes.
us.
Yeah. There's plenty on
so
our jet.
what's happening right now is probably going through your mind. Who are these people? Why are they drinking wine on stage and not talking to us?
That's because we're getting ready.
Yes. And now we are ready? Yes.
I still don't like this.
What? Okay, well.
This is the second time I've had it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna teach you guys about advertising. And do we have anybody who is in advertising in the audience right now? Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
That's what we thought.
That makes a lot of sense. Because if you're in advertising, you're making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in advertising making a lot of money, you're not going to comedy shows.
No, you're not wasting your money going to cute little comedy shows.
No. The comedy shows are probably coming to you. You're like, oh, Mr. Seinfeld or Mr.
Or Mr. Goodyear. Good, nice try with that pitch. Ha ha ha. Get out of my office.
Oh, that's right.
That's comedy to us. When someone comes into our office, they're like, we have an idea, and they tell us, and it's just as bad as we thought it was.
Right.
Leave.
Well, so what we're going to do is we're going to tell you basically why we're qualified. That's the first half of this.
This is Alex Collyard.
Oh, hi, I'm Alex Collyard.
My name is Cody Nelson. We are Collyard Nelson. I'm sure you've heard of us.
Have you guys seen the Super Bowl? Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna tell you why we're so qualified, because apparently you haven't like heard of us. So we're gonna give you some of our credentials and kind of explain to you why we are doing this. And then in the second half, we'll give you some like bullet points of how advertising to do it.
Yes. So we will advertising how to do in the second half.
Yeah.
But the first half, yes, we're gonna justify who we are, why you should come in here and listen to us. That segment is called We the Best.
Yes, and then the second segment is called Be the Best.
So We the
now,
Best.
do you need us to explain it one more time for you?
It right.
No, okay.
Thank you.
You're good. So this guy's good, and
Please,
we'll go with him.
please be quiet. So
I want to go back to that Goodyear pitch because that was very funny. Like when he was like,
oh yes, Tony Goodyear came into our office.
Tony Goodyear comes into our office, right, pitching an idea to us, and it's like, don't you know who has the job
Stick
here?
to making tires, Tone.
Yeah.
Don't.
You make the tires, we give the commercials.
He comes in and he's like, well, what if the tires had like different ridges and they spelled out words of like other products?
Yeah, and like
that's dumb. Nobody can see the tires. Tony.
Right, but then he keeps going, and we are just like keeping our
Typical
mouths
Italian
shut.
doesn't know when to shut his mouth.
And my entire family's Italian, so I should know. But I got a transfusion, so I have none of that in me anymore.
Oh,
Thank God.
it's terrible. It's like being at a Greek wedding.
So anyway, Mr. Goodyear, he keeps going. He's like, what if the tires are people?
What?
Mr. Tony Goodyear, tires go on cars. He just didn't get it.
And then we took the $25,000 that he gave us to get into our office and we kicked him out. And that was our Monday.
Yeah. And he did call us crying later. But that
He was drunk.
Yeah, it was about something else though.
No. Yeah. You're gonna learn that. Advertising is about patience. Not like a doctor patience, but the trait of patience, like having it.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm worried that they don't know what doctors is.
For the few of you that have jobs and chose to come here and you didn't need to come here, if you go talk to your boss, one of the money people at the office, you can get insurance, which is basically go to hospitals for free.
Yes, insurance is basically go to hospitals for free. And otherwise, when you go there, they're going to charge you a lot of money that you absolutely don't have, like in any way, shape, or form.
Money
like,
that you need to use to come to an advertising seminar.
You could sell all of your sweatpants, and you wouldn't be able to pay for one procedure.
You wouldn't. All your little bobbleheads, they wouldn't do it. I'm just assuming that you collect bobbleheads here in the Midwest. I don't know.
That was one of our greatest ideas, by the way.
Yeah, the Dwight Schrute bobblehead.
Right?
We came up with that. And we were talking to the chairman of NBC.
Yeah. And we were like, listen, so
The world's greatest boss mug was a hit. What's step 2?
what's step 2? And what we said is you have to create a TV show called The Office. Based around these bobbleheads.
And this mug.
And this mug.
So
And-
you start with the products and you work backwards.
Right. Well, sometimes you come up with an idea that's so good and it's like no one's going to want to buy this. They don't understand it yet, so we make a TV show around it. However, NBC was like, no, I don't want that because I'm a big dummy. I mean, he doesn't work there anymore, so it's not important what his name is.
Robert Greenblatt.
Is that what his name was?
Who knows?
Who knows? Hopefully he's dead. Anyway, so we went to BBC and we were like, okay, listen, we have this great idea for a show.
The U.S. isn't ready for it yet.
Yeah, and they are used to this. They are so used to us doing this.
Thank you for coming to us. We know we're smarter. That was the guy from BBC that we spoke with.
The British guy.
The British
that was
guy.
a British accent. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've heard British people.
His name was Nigel Goodwin.
Yeah.
And he sat us down.
Nigel Goodwin,
in his-
president of BBC.
He had a round office.
Yeah. It's so weird
So
there.
fancy.
It's so weird there.
Everything was a really fancy red leather. There were a lot of animal rugs.
Yeah,
he
and
was
just-
dressed in like jungle adventurer garb. Did I mention that advertising was about patience? Because you're gonna deal with some weirdos, Nigel Goodwin.
Well, and this is such a
Top of
good
the list.
example of patience because, like, we have this bobblehead that we want to sell, so we have to go create 2 TV shows.
And you know what? The same thing happened in the 80s. We had bought that bar, and we fixed it up, and it looked great.
Right?
And there was nobody there, and there was a layover from JFK
Yeah.
to LAX, and who walks in? Ted Danson.
Yeah.
And he goes, look pretty dead in here.
Yep.
And we're like, yeah, well, what can you do? We start a bar, right? And he goes, I've got an idea. And that's how we created Becker.
Yeah. And it
So
was-
the-
So advertising is about patience, and
but it's also about strength.
yes. Oh, you have to be so
You
strong.
have to be so strong.
Like physically strong because you have to beat up people sometimes.
Well, yeah, your clients are gonna get mad that you don't like their ideas because you never do because they're stupid, and you're the advertiser, and they should always listen to you, but they never do because they're stubborn.
Because they're not artists. They just have money that their daddies gave them usually.
Yes.
And we're artists. the things we come up with is art. And so you watch your TV shows, but what's really important is the commercials in between.
Yep.
Because isn't that hard? Like, they get 15 minutes to explain what they want to talk about, but we only get 1 minute.
And we need to put just as much content into that 1 minute as they do into their 20.
And sometimes we usually do more.
Do you know that Geico almost used a turkey?
Instead of a gecko.
Exactly, it wouldn't make sense.
But they were minutes. They were minutes away from putting a commercial up with a turkey in it. Because it was Thanksgiving time, and
Yep.
they were like, this makes sense. I was like, but
We've
then what
already
about
got-
the rest of the year?
We've already got the float.
Yeah, they've already had the float. So we go in there and we're like, okay, well, we'll whip something up, you idiots, because you don't fucking know what you're talking about. And I'm sorry about the language, but it makes me so mad.
It makes me so
when
mad.
I talk about it, because they're.
It makes me so fucking mad.
So anyway, we go in there and we just figure out how to computer generate things.
Yeah, we have the focus group. We have the proof. People will watch a gecko walk forever.
Yeah. and we didn't have the time, but adrenaline kicked in like a mother trying to lift a car off her child.
I just said, fuck it. I put the motion capture suit on and we shot it that day. It
Yep.
was cut and print by noon.
Yep.
We had it ready for the parade.
You're like Andy Serkis of commercials.
Yep. I actually, after that, I took a couple classes with Cirque, and he was the one who taught me how to play Flo in the Progressive commercials.
He taught you that? See, I thought that was an original character.
It was. I made it up.
Oh. But he figured out how to get. I get it. You know what he's really good at?
Everything.
Table tennis.
Yeah. That falls under my umbrella.
Right.
Of what I've said. Advertising is about compromise. Sorry, did someone laugh at that?
Well, compromise can be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like in history. Do you remember when?
Oh, yeah.
What was it called?
I remember,
The Great Compromise. That was funny, right?
It was very funny. So,
I don't remember what happened in it though.
I remember.
Didn't we like give someone Missouri and it's like, take it?
I thought you meant how Kia wanted to use the 3 stripes on the side of their cars, but Adidas was like, we wanted it.
Oh!
Yours is better though.
No, mine's like real history, not like the history that happened in.
Mine is real history.
Oh, right.
You were there for ours.
Right, I know, but it's not in history books. I mean, we've tried to put like us in history books. But then we were like, do we really want the fame? Like, we kind of are good.
I mean, I've got a guy at Simon & Schuster, and your cousin is the CEO of Penguin, but we just can't get our heads in the door anywhere.
Because, like,
Those are book companies.
right, and what I was going to say is, like, I don't want to go in there.
Books is TV on paper.
Right. And it's so regressive because there's no advertisements in a book.
Unless you count magazines. Advertising is about originality.
Magazines are like books, except for good.
And bigger.
Like what we said with TV shows to commercials. You have a TV show and what, it's like 23 minutes, right? But then commercials is 1 minute. And then magazines, they're so much smaller.
Unless it's ESPN the magazine. And I'm still fighting them on that because it's too big and I can't hold it.
It's so heavy. And the pages are glossy, so it's just slipping all over the place.
It doesn't make sense.
Sports is important right now, you guys.
Ooh boy!
Ooh.
Ooh boy!
Ooh. Ooh. Do we even talk about it? Have you guys heard what's going on in sports?
Oh.
Ooh.
Everything is going on in sports.
Yeah, the football season started.
And at the rate it's going, for how long?
Right, so in positions like these, you have to start to think what's next, because
We've already got child abuse.
Mm.
We've already got spousal abuse. We've already got perjury and obstruction of justice.
And like we've had murder for the entire history of it, but like what hasn't, right?
You know, I was talking with Michael Sam The first openly gay NFL player, and he came up to me distraught, and he's like, I got cut. I figured this would happen because it's such a close-minded organization.
Oh, I remember that. I was there.
You were there.
And I was like, where? Where did you get cut? But he got cut.
You were on Tinder.
Yeah.
You were on Tinder though at the
Yeah.
time. You were kind of.
I wasn't really paying attention. No, I was just swiping left. It makes me feel good.
And I said, well, what can you do? I'm sorry, you got cut. I don't have any pull there. I do have a lot of pull there, but I didn't want to tell him that right away because he would have the power in that situation.
No. And that's what it's about. Advertising is about mystery
Power
and
and
power.
mystery. And so Mike goes, I could commit a crime. That'll get me back in the news.
And we were
And
like,
we're like, most of the bases are covered already. He's like,
what are you gonna do?
I'm good at graffiti.
And we were like, that's not good enough unless like the graffiti is you murdering someone. and then
It
we
wasn't.
were like,
It wasn't. It was just paint.
Like we were brainstorming. We were like, what about incest or necrophilia? But then we were like, Game of Thrones already did it. So that's like tired area.
We were
too.
trapped in that for a while.
We
You
were
kept saying things, and it was
Bring it
Game
out.
of Thrones, Game of Thrones,
Right,
Game
it
of
was like, oh,
Thrones.
Game of
When
Thrones.
are those books gonna come out? Darn it!
I'm waiting for it to come out in magazine. That's more interesting to me.
All right, look, I know we're probably overloading you with information right now. But there is one thing that Alex really wanted to tell you guys.
Okay. So this is hard to talk about.
It's the apple orchard story. You know it.
Yeah. And this is another thing about advertising. Like
It
sometimes
happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere, but sometimes it's sad. Like we've seen the commercial where the kid runs through the old grandpa because he's not there anymore because he smoked too much.
We've seen the commercial where the woman turns into just a flat piece of paper into her chair because she smoked too much.
Right. And we've seen the commercial where the kid turns into a cigarette because he is a cigarette. We've all seen those, and those is so sad.
Oh, it's
so,
true.
Anyway, I was in the apple orchard.
Sad is better when it's true.
I was in the apple orchard and I was walking through, and apples, they make me so happy. They're so red and great. And there's so many, and you don't have to like put on airs for the apples. You can just be yourself around the apples. So I'm walking through the apple orchard completely nude, and I look at one of the apples and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I've always admired these apples. I've never actually eaten one. Like I've never eaten a single apple anywhere. Apple juice, apple sauce, apple pie.
What does it come from?
It comes from apples.
I was just yes, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Were you? I'm sorry. What
No,
were you
I was
confused
just
about?
I was saying your internal monologue for you. I'm
Oh
sorry.
right, yeah. I was like, where does it come from?
Yeah.
Anyway, I pick an apple off of the branch, right? And I'm looking at it.
This is my favorite.
And then apple falls on my head, and I'm like, what? Oh God, I just discovered gravity.
Turns out Isaac Newton did.
Yeah. And actually, I did take a bite of that apple later, and I am allergic to apples.
And there were a couple days when you thought you were really, really good at science. But then we figured out that Isaac Newton came up with that.
And it's not that I'm bad. Right.
Advertising is about accepting weakness. Because
Can I talk to you real quick? Okay, like, why are you doing this right now? Like, why are you telling
them what they need to know.
No, but I'm not weak. Why are you saying I'm weak in front of them?
Hey.
What?
There.
Tell them I'm a strong boy. They can't hear us right now because we're talking to each other, and
I know.
And they probably can't afford hearing aids, and they probably all. But like, and when we break out of this, tell them I'm a strong boy.
Got it.
Okay. Cody has something to tell you guys.
We had an exclusive partnership with Under Armour back in 2000 and it was a long time ago, 2013.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and we're in the Under Armour headquarters, and we're talking with is us two, Mike Vick.
Too soon, you're right.
He's nice in person. There's us two, Mike Vick, little Brady Favre, and Carmelo Anthony. And we were just
And tell them what they said when they kicked out all of those people and said, we found our model already. Tell them who they picked.
Do you want me to just tell the end of the story?
Yeah.
Okay, Alex posed for one picture in Under Armour, and he was shirtless.
Yeah, it was a very strong looking picture. And they couldn't use it because it was like, this isn't unrealistic for the rest of America. Bring Michael Vick and Carmelo Anthony back in
This
here.
is not a good sample size.
No, it's not. It doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Okay, all right.
What was that?
What was what? You were
Like,
taking too long.
I wanted to tell the story.
But my self-esteem is so low.
I was gonna bring it. There was the part we went into the gym and you deadlifted like 600 pounds right in front of them.
You can't tell them that. They'll shit their pants. You can't tell them that. That's too much.
And then they all saw that and Mike Vick was like, "Oh, I'm about to do something bad again." And he walked out. They were blown away. I tore you down just to build you back up. And I know they can't hear us right now.
I know, because we're talking to each other.
Because we're talking to each other. But you just gotta trust me.
Okay, I do trust you, and I'm sorry for not trusting you originally.
It's okay.
But also, I feel good now.
Yeah.
Because they know that I'm strong.
It's gonna be all right. We got tons of time.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we have to get to the second part?
So much time.
Do we have to get? I feel like we should get to the second part.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
We have a couple more anecdotes. You guys are gonna want to get your notepads after this one.
Pick out your notepads. I know you probably brought them.
Here are 7 ways to impress the CEO
Of Target.
of Target.
Now we know it's a Minnesota company, so that's going to be relatable to all of you. So the first way that you can impress him.
Wear a red shirt and khaki pants into a meeting.
Okay, the second way to impress him is to apply for a low-level job at his company. Right? He'll see you come in dressed all nice, and you'll be like, you know what, I don't really want all that much. Just put me on the floor, boss.
I'll work for this.
I'll work for this. I want to work up. And you know what he'll probably say? He'll probably say, you know what, I want to put you in a big job.
You're gonna work guest services.
But then you say no. I just want to stock the fucking hair care products.
Step 2 is being humble.
We already did step 2, I think.
That was just summing it up.
Oh, right.
Step 3, rescue a dog, paint a bullseye on him, bring him into the meeting.
All right. Step 4, you're gonna want to have to probably talk to Humane Society. The Humane Society. Because you just painted a dog. And probably stole it from someone. And that's going to impress him that you're that ahead of the game, that you bring it up to the Humane Society right away.
Step 5, you're going to need to cover your bases with that dog. We can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
The cops are going to come and they're going to know that we met with the Target guy.
Right. Step 6 is you're going to want to adopt another dog. Just to show that you can do it and not paint a dog.
Step 7 is the next time you have a meeting with Target, buy non-toxic paint.
And that's the 7 ways,
Those are the 7 ways
to impress the CEO of Target.
Thank
you. That's kind of a bonus, but now we should get to the steps of advertising, right?
That was how we the best.
Yep.
Now it's time to be the best.
Advertising step 1. Oh no!
Damn
Guys, we ran out of time. I'm so sorry.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm really